what's going on in technology companies in general, especially SaaS software companies, which makes up and comprises most of the HR HCM space today, is the business models are larger and growing faster than what we saw 15, 20 years ago. I like to use the example back in 2010 and 11. At the time, the fastest growing public SaaS company was SuccessFactors, growing at like 28 or 29% organically. Today, I think I cover out of the 35 companies, I think 10 of them are growing faster than 35% a year, and like 5 of them are growing 50% a year or faster. So effectively double the rate of SuccessFactors, and 2 of them are 3 times the revenue scale, so much larger. But customer and market demand and appetite for SaaS solutions versus what we saw 10 or 15 years ago is much higher. So the last year and a half, we've seen a lot of activity around IPOs. You can see their financials. You can see, whether it's profitability levels or cash flow generation levels. In the SaaS business model, I would behoove, maybe warn's not the right word, but we'll go with behoove a customer to look at cash flows and cash balance over profitability. Just the way the economics of this business model work, you get to cash flow generation before you get to profitability, and sometimes years before profitability. I actually just wrote a 33-page note on this industry report that got published this morning, ironically enough. Talked about that kind of direct item. And it's all about accounting treatment at the end of the day. It's really boring finance and accounting stuff. But profitability is never the right way to look at these companies. But try to understand, do they have enough cash on their balance sheet? And if they're losing cash, do they have enough cash there to be able to weather the next 3 or 4 years properly with all their investments? A couple of the new emerging technologies that I thought were interesting, at least, is, or maybe not completely emerging, but that were getting a lot of publicity, was the employee experience, especially, during the pandemic, the last couple of years. People are at home, our employees are at home, and the organizations want to get a better reach with their employees to understand kind of how they're doing, how they're feeling in their jobs, et cetera. Make sure, all the mental health and job responsibility kind of aspects are coming together, but there's a lot of spend there. I've talked about the workforce analytics space for, it's got to be 10 or 12 years now, in terms of this was always the year that workforce analytics is going to, see a lot of spend and kick into high motion. I haven't said that the last 2 or 3 years. Funny, this is the year that I think it's starting to happen more. And that's mainly because the vendor solutions, I think, have matured to a stage where it's easier for the companies to consume and actually get actionable insights out of them. So I think that's kind of interesting or important out there. There's still a variety of fringe might not be the right word, but we'll use fringe technologies around the recruiting space that's out there. CRM solutions are certainly becoming more popular. That's out there. Talent intelligence is a big category that we're going to see a lot of, I think, the next couple of years. Talent intelligence is really it's almost an internally focused platform, so companies can help identify internal employees for new opportunities and to really develop those skill sets properly. Ceridian is announced a new product that they're developing internally for that. There's some large companies like Eightfold AI, if you're familiar with them, or maybe a Phenom People that's doing some really good work in that space. They're both at revenue levels right now that I think the average attendee to the organization here would certainly be impressed with, because if you weren't familiar with them, they're larger than what they think. But those functional areas are definitely seeing a lot of interest. And then last one is around paying out earned wages more quickly. You're seeing a lot of payroll vendors offer some sort of immediate or daily pay functionality where you can take a subset of your hours worked. And if today's Tuesday, right? If I work today, Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday, I can get paid out for my earned wages today. Depending on the vendor that you use, you can access anywhere from 50 to maybe 80% of those earned wages, because some have to be held back, obviously, for tax reasons, et cetera. But those pieces of functionality, while they're still early, they're starting to see a lot of adoption of new trends today.